Okay, it's been like 2 months in the making, but I'm finally gonna try to get this collab done. I finally have my good pal, Spicy Memelord, with me.
Hi there.
And so, like, as I said in a video many eons ago, we were gonna talk about Weapon Refinery, but I had to do that solo because technology is fantastic. Why don't I tell you?
Yeah, rest in peace. I had some good stuff to say too.
Yeah, so, since then, we've been trying to get a collab done for a while, but there's just been nothing to talk about, and so we decided, let's just talk. But yeah, like I want to kind of talk about Arena a bit because Arena is kind of getting weird, and from there we'll just like see where it goes. Now, first things first, I just want to ask you, do you remember when this map that I'm about to upload, do you remember when that map was like this?
I remember that, yeah. I actually liked it better like this.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. If that was how the map worked when you could swap spaces, I would have loved that. I think that was really cool.
Yeah, I like maps that put the units segmented like that because I feel like it's easier to do stuff there.
Yeah, and besides, that horse emblem at that point can only get one buff instead of everything. But yeah, but still, I feel like that map could have been really good if they had just let us swap spaces. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, those new maps that they like, you know, the new trench maps that they released for Arena.
Trench maps are so freaking gay. I hate them. They make me not think.
It's like they got a map editor and they just pressed random buttons to just create it's just a cluster of stuff. It's not even like maps anymore.
Yeah, like hold up. Let me see if I can find it. I was trying to. Someone wanted to see Reinhardt 1-round KO Hector, so I decided to hunt for him. It took me like an hour, but in the process, I managed to do this. Come on. I managed to get that to happen. What? Oh my god. I hate trenches. It's like horses literally can't do anything. They become the most predictable things on the planet, and when you're using them, it's ugh.
I mean, I like that they added trenches. I feel like trenches are a good addition, especially for PvE maps. I feel like they added like a different aspect of strategy, but I feel like the way that they executed is specifically arena maps just does not work. And I also feel like, you know, the size of the grid for Fire Emblem Heroes, I don't think it's large enough to properly support so much different terrain.
Yeah, I feel like this is just my opinion. I feel like Sacred Seal Forge gave us more than enough tools to handle Horse Emblem. I feel like trenches should have been exclusively PvE, just because the devs do have data on what units are being used. So like they can like by all means try to make strategies more diverse if you can. Even modern horse strategies, if you just add trenches, it does like force them to be more creative.
Yeah, I vaguely remember. I forget how long ago it was, but I remember that a dev interview or something came out. It was when they were talking about don't worry, power creep isn't gonna happen in Heroes. Liars. They said that they had usage statistics, and they said that Horse Emblem isn't nearly as oppressive as everybody thought it was. Which, by the way, that was back when Horse Emblem was actually as oppressive as everybody thought it was. It's that their statistics with that study or whatever were skewed, I think, because I think they used all the statistics across all of Arena, and pretty much everything below tier 15 does not matter, and that's where a lot of casual players and stuff are. So of course they're not gonna have like
Yeah, obviously,
super
if you
busted
take,
horse
like,
teams.
yeah, because even nowadays, I'm hearing people be like, "Oh man, I don't want to minus speed Katarina. I want her to tank mages." But like, obviously, there's going to be
Dude,
some people that just don't know what they're doing. But like,
yeah.
when people want to win, they will do whatever it takes to win. Like, I get average defense wins nowadays. I'm fine with it. I'm cool with just getting one. But I just want to be that evil dick and run a speed refined, quicken pulse, distant counter Woda Ira alongside an infantry pulse Dorcas and just see what people do.
Honestly, my defense, like my personal defense meta is just garbage. Like I very rarely actually get like a defense win with a bonus unit on my team because I don't really care enough to bother like setting like prime defense team stuff. It's just I don't really care that much about it.
I just slap together some jank shit that people don't expect and just see what happens.
Yeah, I just have my horse emblem. I have like the core of Reinhardt, Lynn, and Brave Roy, and then I just put a bonus unit and hope that I win. It's whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, like I just got to give some shout outs to a few of these trench maps real quick. Like, ugh, I really don't like them. I put this in Itchy's Discord the other day. Well, not the other day. I think it was actually just earlier today. It was probably this morning. But that was kind of bullshit.
Oh yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to think. I can just slap Ira in the middle of everything, and it's all good. There's one map in particular. It's probably my favorite map, just because there's so much random stuff going on to it. It makes me think I think it's 5x8 or 6x8 something grid Heroes has. It made me feel like it didn't exist because it just looked so huge. Oh yeah, here's another honorable mention though. While we're waiting, that map is something.
I'm not even sure I saw that. Well, no, I think I saw that map. It's really weird. Like it looks like they just pressed like different buttons and just put terrain in random places.
Yeah. Where's the one map? Come on, I know it's around here somewhere. Yeah, here it is. This is probably the weirdest map in the game, at least from my perspective. It feels like they're doing everything at once.
Yeah, that's. I don't know. This map looks kind of annoying, to be honest. Like to deal with the enemies or whatever.
Like, just to put it into perspective, this was the first time I ever played that map, and so like my brain was like, okay, let's just sit Sheena on the defensive tile, and then she will like solo Sothan Ira. Not Ira. Sothan Tana. That is exactly what she did. And then by the time Ira got down there, she had to go like all the way around that mountain. Like she got to like one space above where Tana is, and then she just started moving all the way, and she circled across the mountain, and it took like 12 turns just for her to get into a round of combat. And then Effie just got nowhere. So that was pretty fun. But
yeah, honestly, these new like clusterfuck maps aren't very good for my team because my team kind of relies on taking advantage of the weapon triangle. Yeah, I have to bait them and I have to take advantage of the weapon triangle, and when it's just a clusterfuck like that, a lot of the times I won't be able to just get one guy signaled out.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay for me just because Ira will pretty much kill whatever I want her to, and so if they can't move, sure, I'll just abuse my... Probably, its infantry movement is pretty much the second best movement type for Arena because of these maps, right behind Flyers.
Yeah.
You can never top Flyer movement. But...
Yeah.
Man, I forget. Is that one map? Let me see if I can find a screenshot of it while I talk. It's like this one map that's got like the two defensive it's like a 2x2 defensive tile area right in the middle across a bridge. And it was like,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Does that map
That
even
map is
appear
either-
in non-arena assault anymore?
I I don't know. I know I've seen it in Arena Assault,
Yeah,
but
I'm pretty
I
sure
think
every
I've seen
map
it
is
in
Arena
Arena. I don't know.
I can't remember last time I played.
But that map is either like super easy or like so annoying.
Yeah.
Just depending on like enemy placement, my placement, like what units we have.
You know what map I'm surprised they haven't either fixed or just removed from the game yet? That one map that everyone hates, where both of your units start behind walls, and there's just like a bunch of forest tiles in the middle, and it's like aligned just so perfectly so that range horses can get like all the way on the other side of the map and snipe your units in one turn.
I can't remember for the life of me what map that is.
Um,
I'm really bad at remembering maps. It's
I'm really bad at describing maps, so
what a combo.
I'm trying to find it right now, so it might take a while. But that's one map that I really do. What? Dog, stop! I have no idea what happened. It was like some kind of air horn, and it probably got caught on the recording. So that's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, I can hear that.
I'll probably
for sure.
email it to Chino, see if he can do some editing.
Yeah.
God, I cannot find this map for the life of me. But anywho, if you do know what I'm talking about, you know that map is god awful. But anywho, do you think trenches? Well, I doubt they're gonna remove trenches, but do you think they should like tone down on the trenches?
They need to just. It's not even the fact that it's trenches. I think it's just the fact that like everything combined in the map is so trash.
Yeah.
They just got to figure out how to properly use trenches. Like, don't just shove them everywhere. Figure out how to use them with finesse.
Yeah. Oh wait a minute, I know how to find it. I think. Let me see. Oh yeah, I actually DM'd this map to you. Hold up, let me see.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. I remember. Here it is. Copy link. This map. Come on, Discord. Please. There we go.
Oh, I hate that map.
Yeah, I'm so surprised they haven't done anything about it yet. Because at least that one bridge map with the defense tiles, I hardly see it. But like this map, I just dread whenever I play on it. I despise this map, and I just want it removed.
Yeah, this map is the worst. Because, like, they'll have, like, their horse unit or something, like, destroy the tile, then get danced and just kill your guy, and you're like, oh, okay,
yeah, like,
I could do something
they
there.
can just move all the way across the map in one turn. You gotta waste time, like, chipping away at the wall. So you've got to make sure whatever unit's up there can actually live. And you can't even really panic ploy because, like, once their turn ends from breaking the wall, they just get danced and low panic.
Yeah, it's something.
Oh, man. And I still don't understand why they have some trenches simultaneously set as defensive tiles, and some trenches are just trenches to be trenches. Trench.
I mean, hey, it's cool that they can stack stuff. Is there a tile anywhere that's a trench, a defensive tile, and a forest tile all at once? If there's not, that needs to happen.
I don't even think they've put a forest tile on a defensive tile yet, so...
No, they definitely have.
Are you sure? Oh, wait, yes, I remember.
A defensive tile, for sure.
Yeah, I remember. That specific tile gave me hell. It was on the Amelia and Tana BHB. I swear to God, it took me an hour to figure out that map with Tail 2 just because of that fucking tile. At least Fleischer is here to save the day.
Yeah, she's actually really nice for positioning. I feel like compared to Axera, I feel like honestly she's better in most situations just because with Hones, you know, you already probably have like better Hones.
Yeah, she can use whatever Hone she wants. She can even like go branch out to tactics. She's not restricted by terrain, and she gives guidance utility, which is something that Axera
exactly.
do.
Guidance utility and the fact that she's not restricted by terrain, I think, combined is really good. It just adds to the utility of a dancer.
Yeah.
It's like Inigo levels of utility.
Yeah, pretty much. And like she's not necessarily restrained by a pure F2, so she can like use a refined weapon to increase her bulk.
Although I will say I don't feel like she belongs in a higher tier than Axura, because I feel like
I feel
Axura's
like
still
I don't
super
think I
good.
can,
It's just that they fit. What's that?
I don't think I can ever bring myself to put a dancer in S plus just because the fact that they have that
Oh,
assist
no,
skill
no.
hinders their stats, so like they can't really do everything at once. But I feel like S is as high as a dancer will ever go.
Yeah, S plus I feel like is a tier that should be saved for meta defining units, stuff like
I
Ira,
I think
Crom,
S
stuff
plus
like
is
that.
only units that pretty much units that force what's it called, that force conditions on you, like distant,
Yeah,
like
stuff that you have to counter.
Black Knight and Zelgius, both of them, well, Blacklight to a significantly lesser extent, but those units can be built so that they pretty much force you to kill them in one round because they have builds where they can just proc Black Luna on you no matter what, unless you're running like Guard or something dumb. But yeah, I feel like it's just units that specific. Again, I hate making comparisons to Pokemon. It's like Toxapex. Like when you got to prepare for something just because it exists, that's when you got a problem.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you look at like what people would probably consider S plus, I mean, you have like the two biggest aspects of the meta, right? You got Ira, who is just pretty much a bunch of really good legendary stuff on top of like power creep stats, and then you have stuff like Halloween Jacob or Christmas Crom, where it's like
where
insanely tanky stuff, and then you just forget speed.
Yeah, and it's like it's again. I despise bringing up Pokemon with Fire Emblem, but it's exactly why Genesect was never allowed in OU because it can do so many things you just can't prepare for it.
Is there something else you wanted to talk about? Because I had something I wanted to bring up.
I can't really think of anything. I've had a long day.
All right. Well, there's something I wanted to talk about, and that's daggers.
Oh
Dude,
man, they're still ass.
I remember last time we tried recording a video where I talked about daggers, and I said this is like right before Refinery, so I was talking about like what I think they should do to daggers, and I said daggers need to find a niche because right now they're just worst bows because like they're just so weak. I said that they either need to go. I said they either need to go really hard into effective damage, or they need to go really hard into the whole debuff, like after combat thing. Well, I mean, Refinery happened since then, and Soth was released, and Soth's legendary dagger is like probably one of the best after combat effects you're gonna get in Fire Emblem, and they're still garbage. So yeah, I'm gonna have to take that second part back. Just go back on it. Go back on it. Yeah, nobody cares about after combat effects. They're just so bad, except for Gravity. But hey,
Gravity.
Check out my video for that.
Oh man, all the plugs. But yeah, daggers. I really don't think. I honestly just want daggers removed from the game because there's almost nothing you can do with them. Because if you give a Brave Dagger, then you have to compare dagger units to archers, and they don't have innate effective flying. And
yeah, exactly.
And then
okay,
yeah.
How about this? Daggers that are exactly the same as bows, but with like 1 or 2 more might in exchange for not effective versus flyers.
Because then you just gotta compare them to like regular units in the weapon triangle. It's just they have range. Because it's like it's a combination of daggers, the weapons being bad, and just like dagger units don't really have that good stats. Like the best universal dagger unit, if that were the case, would probably be Takumi because he's got okay speed. But then like Refinery doesn't push the speed as hard as it does for like regular units. It's just so hard to make daggers work. Like healers are their gags. They've got all the best tools in the game, but like their stats are shit. So, and they're practically unusable in arena because they score so fucking low.
Yeah,
And then
I mean, I get the idea. It's like, you tone down the abilities of healers, and then you let them have offensive abilities. Uh, so maybe you want to run them in arena, but then they're still ranged units, so their BSDs are still garbage. So you're not going to run them in arena.
and their best scoring special is Miracle.
Oh, wait, you can't even run Aether on a dagger unit? I didn't even know that.
I thought we were talking about healers.
Oh, my bad.
Okay. I was about to say, wait, no Aether on daggers. I think that's so that actually, in that one screenshot actually had Aether, but oh wait, no, he's got 2. He's probably running Glimmer Trash.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to talk about, actually, Glimmer.
Oh man,
are we done with daggers?
I think okay. Daggers are trash in the story. Let's go, Glimmer.
Okay, Glimmer. So, remember when Skill Inheritance first came out, and people only ran Moonbow?
Dude, I was hopping on the Glimmer trade immediately. I'm like, what's a good special I can put on? Oh man, Glimmer. Nobody's probably gonna use that. Let me just put it on Nino. Like 6 months later, I was finally right.
The meta master. Yeah, back then everybody ran Moonbow because I understand the idea. Like, they thought that a 3 cooldown wasn't
too long.
low enough to, like, you weren't going to be able to pop it.
Yeah, they thought,
and
at that point, pretty much people just thought, okay, you proc, you win. Proc fast equals good. But, like, eventually people just realized Moonbow just didn't do damage.
Yeah. Were killing weapons even in the game back then? No, killing weapons were in the game since launch.
Were, yeah, but like, they were kind of trash.
Yeah, there was nobody good to use a killer weapon on because, like, Lynn was like there and she had a legendary.
Like,
yeah. But yeah, so everybody ran Moonbow back then because they wanted a 2 cooldown special, and they completely glanced over Glimmer, and I'd understand why, actually, because back then Glimmer was worse than Moonbow, like, almost objectively.
Okay, hold on a second. I just gotta show the people, like, you won't be able to see it, but I gotta show the people something right here. I'm about to dig up an old ass chat conversation. I mean, it was great. Let me see. I think it's 88. No, let me just look up nigga. Okay, there we go. 126 years old. Kill yourself. Okay, but let's see. I know. I gotta find this screenshot real quick. I gotta show you. I was all on the Glimmer train, and for like Blade Tomes, because
okay, with Blade Tomes it's understandable because with Blade Tomes you could stack damage really high.
Yeah, but like even back then, people were like suspicious of. Oh yeah, 44. There it is. I gotta show you this screenshot. Let's see. Just a little bit more. Is there? Yeah, there it is. And then I said I did that only for when I use blades. And then, yeah, Glimmer is actually bad. Why would you run it? 44 damage is totally necessary. Okay, there we go. Continue.
Yeah, so back then, I guess, other than with blades, but that's a different story because you can stack damage very well on blades. But, like, back when Skill Inheritance first came out, like, mid-50s was the highest that you could probably dream of.
Yeah.
And now attack is, like, launching up to, like, 70. Like, you can get to 70 relatively easily. Like, 60 is a decent hallmark for, like, a non-merged unit.
Like, honestly, 60 with brave weapons is average nowadays.
Yeah, so now the attack value is higher, so it makes more sense. But back then, the attack values were a lot lower, so Glimmer actually did less compared to Moonbow. Now, two charge specials are coming back. Like, there was a small hiatus where I think everybody just used 3 charge specials.
Yeah.
Now 2 charge specials are back, and I feel like Glimmer can compete with Moonbow when it comes to, like, moderately high attack units. Because first of all, you run like a killer weapon with them, and then, every other hit, so essentially every time you're in combat, you'll proc your special. So it's like less of a bursty idea of like Ignis or something, and more of the idea that it just increases like your overall
it's
burst
like,
rotation or attack rotation, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much just win what you can instead of just saving up for like one big kill.
Yeah, exactly. And then like with that idea, like win what you can, help those middling matchups. if you look at Moonbow versus Glimmer, and I have done like this comparison on my Eldigan video, plug. If you have like a relatively high attack, like the kind of range between Moonbow and Glimmer kind of blurs, where in a lot of places in the past where Moonbow could kill an enemy and Glimmer wouldn't be able to kill that enemy, now since like your attack is so high, you're able to actually like kind of bleed in there and like kill more enemies with Glimmer than with Moonbow. So I do think that Glimmer is actually a viable option as a two cooldown special, especially on high attack units.
Let me pull up a calculator real quick. I want to kind of put it into perspective. I believe if my like calculations from a month or two ago were accurate, I believe for comparing average attack with Glimmer to just Moonbow being Moonbow, I think an enemy needs approximately 40 defense. Yeah, 42 defense with plus Moonbow negates 13 defense. You need about 40 defense for Moonbow to actually compare in like middle ground matchups to Glimmer and stuff.
Right, I think that my calculations with my Eldigan were around that too. And you think about it, and it's like, if you have a 2 cooldown special, you're not exactly trying to kill enemies that have 50 defense in the first place. You're using the special to help with those middling matchups, and I feel like Glimmer does help with the middling matchups more.
Yeah, it's like the heavy blade mentality where or flashing blade in Ira's case, you just get what you can and try to kill as many things in one go as possible. But yeah, like the only real place I think Moonbow has nowadays in comparison to Glimmer is mostly on Wodao units, because Wodao units with your plus 10 damage, you kind of do aim for defense piercing.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't really use Wodao units myself, so you're more of an expert on it than I am.
Well, it's mostly just me and my shitty-ass Navarro with his 50 attack, but it's whatever. Like, I did want to make a video about, about Navarro, because I did find a way to kind of make him budget Ira, but that team is, like, a little too gimmicky, and I don't have enough reposition fodder for Delphia, so I'll do that at a later date. I was also sick at the time, so it's whatever.
Alright. Yeah, that's a sneak peek for you guys.
Yeah. Incoming in 2019.
Yeah, and then I also, since I was like recently trying hard in Arena, because Faye was recently a bonus unit, and if you don't know, I run a Lolly Dragon team, so I could go all out with my score. And I went against a Minerva in Arena, who had like the Wodao enhancement on her, what was it, Hauteclair?
Yeah. And
she had like Moonbow or something. And I stuck my like young Tiki on a defensive tile, and my young Tiki has like 37 defense or something. And then consider that with TA and on a defensive tile. And the Minerva still almost killed her by proccing Moonbow twice on her in the same round of combat. It was like actually impressive.
Yeah, that's like one thing I think people might start doing, because Wodao, if you guys didn't know, Wodao is actually true damage. So against defensive units, if defense like with like Chrom and Tharja and stuff becomes like a little absurd, people might start running Wodao on a staple team or something. Because Wodao with Moonbow, along with the 10 true damage, does stack up a lot when you can just proc it quickly.
Yeah, and then you stack Wrath on top of that. Ooh.
Oh man, I cannot wait for a Desperation Seal. I will run Wrath Ira and Wrath Navarre, and it will be an orgasm.
It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah, man. I was inspired when I saw that brazen attack speed. Let me see if I can just pull up that Ira. It was the most beautiful Ira I had ever seen. Well, that's the wrong server. It was the most beautiful Ira I had ever seen, and like normally I've been using close defense Fjorm for the past 2 seasons because she can't tank reds at all, and close defense actually helps with that. And Fjorm with team support had 45 defense, and this Ira with like Brazen, Attack, Speed, Wrath, Wood Owl, Speed Refined, and she like OHKO'd her on Regnal damage alone, and I was in tears. It was so beautiful, and the best part is she wasn't even in Brazen range. It was great. I love it. Yeah, this
sometimes their greatest inspiration comes from our defeats.
Yeah, I didn't even care. I had already done my streak. I was just fucking around. It was this IRA. I want to build this. It's great.
Oh yes. I was honestly confused when I saw Wodao first because I didn't really understand why you would run Wodao instead of her legendary. I think I get it now.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons to just replace Iris Blade, mostly because there's a lot of methods to just shorten your cooldown anyway. And especially if you run like Brazen Ira, you could honestly replace attack +3 on that build with Heavy Blade and do it to the same effect. But still, man, we need that Desperation Seal. We gotta snap the game wide open.
Yeah, Desperation Seal is going to be great. There's going to be a lot of dead Nephinese once that happens.
Oh, man, it'll be a great day for Sin.
So how about Choose Your Legends?
Oh, man, I want Baby Guinevere so bad, but I know it's never going to happen.
Yeah, it's, I don't like the fact that you can vote for the same character over and over again, because I feel like it puts too much pressure on me, or like on everybody, to just vote for the same character over and over again, because it's like you want to vote for the guy that you think might win, but like needs your votes to like get ahead, rather than just for like whoever you like that you know isn't gonna get like top 10 or anything.
Like this is why I kind of prefer. I kind of do like Voting Gauntlet, because it feels like you're not one man against the world anymore.
Yeah, you don't even know what. Actually, I think it's a good thing. In Choose Your Legends, you don't know how like the results are going until it ends. Yeah, which I think is good, because then it's like you're not influenced by any outside sources.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Voting Gauntlet, it's pretty much a coin toss at this point, but I really don't care. It's a fun ride either way. But I did not like how people reacted when Tharja beat Sigurd. Like I told you about this earlier, or I was practically being witch hunted. Oh.
I do not like how current Voting Gauntlets work. I've complained about it in Discord a lot. I don't like the idea of a comeback multiplier, because I feel like it eliminates the idea of a popularity contest. I would rather a character stomp another character than having a comeback multiplier, because I don't know about other people, but even if I know my character's going to lose, I'm still going to support them. So I feel like, I don't know, I just don't like the idea of a comeback multiplier, because I feel like it muddies the idea of a popularity contest with RNG.
My baby girl Shauna won. That's all I needed to know that I love multipliers. Yes, I have that game. I have that day marked on the calendar. I will celebrate that day every year from now on.
Wonderful.
Yes, the day Shauna won a gauntlet. It's great.
But yeah, so I've like kind of explored Reddit a bit for Choose Your Legends. And I've seen that apparently the Japanese audience isn't too happy with us.
Wait, wasn't it like something like they're upset with us for not voting for waifus?
I don't know what's wrong with them, but apparently they like yanderes and generic lords, and they're mad at us for not liking them. Okay, there's a lot of games that Japanese people are better at than Western audiences, but I feel like Fire Emblem is like one of the few games in which the Western audience is actually better than the Japanese audience, and that's saying a lot, because you've seen the Western audience.
I've seen some Japanese tier lists for Fire Emblem, like Sacred Stones in particular. The Japanese have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, and then they think that we are worse at the game, so they like make the games in the Western releases easier. Yeah. Like, come on. But yeah, I saw like Japanese people complaining that if you don't know, Reddit recently completed a poll for like who you're voting for Choose Your Legends. So it's almost like a Choose Your Legends, like within Choose Your Legends, to like kind of see like where the whole thing is going.
Ooh, spicy.
And Celica got really high, and she like got higher than Faye, Archer Faye. And the Japanese audience was like really mad about it apparently, because they like cannot grasp the concept that people like Celica more than Faye.
I really don't care about echoes because I don't like echoes because enemies refuse to die and I don't like it. It's not fun. I don't like relying on Chris to kill anything and everything. It makes me feel sad.
That's why you just have to play Fire Emblem 7 over and over again like I do.
Nah, man, it's why I play Radiant Dawn. I'd rather just have my little Dragon Lord just go in with a full inventory of hand axes and just clear an entire map. That's how I like to play.
Yeah, but back on Choose Your Legends, I think it's actually interesting because seeing like the different ideas across audiences. Because like for example, back on the Japanese audience, they don't like Ephraim or Hector as much as we do. Like they're confused as to why Ephraim and Hector are so high on the things. They prefer the more generic like cookie cutter lords, stuff like Marth, and I personally don't understand it because those lords are like so generic and boring. But I think I understand why. It's because it's like
Marth has his moments in like the DS games, but like I mean like I just like Marth because he is like poster boy. He is kind of like the embodiment of Fire Emblem in its entirety. But like Marth is like the only quote unquote generic lord I can really say that for because I have respect for Marth, but like other guys,
me too.
Ugh.
But like Marth, like that's the thing. Like sometimes people will say like Marth is too generic for them to like, but what you gotta understand is he's not a cookie cutter lord. He wasn't made with a cookie cutter. He is the cookie cutter. He's literally the first lord. Cookie cutter lords are based on him. He's the original.
Yeah. Also, for you guys that aren't Harambe, I got a little treat for you. This is the best. This is the reason why Ephraim is great. Right here, just bask in it real quick.
Just not gonna show it to me. Okay.
Actually, hold up. I think I will link it to you. Sure.
You guys that aren't Harambe feels bad. That's my Discord name, by the way.
Well, I mean, they've been looking at our DMs the entire time, so they probably know your Discord name. This is the reason Ephraim is godly.
Jesus Christ, Summoner, what are you doing?
He's trying to get that S support, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like the reason Japanese audiences like Marth more is because he's their first lord. Like, because obviously the Fire Emblem games were out in Japan way longer than they've been out in the US, so their first games are probably the games featuring Marth. So I understand why they like him more than the likes of Ephraim and Hector, which are like probably the Western audience's first games.
Yeah, like they grew up with Marth and Sigurd and stuff. Oh man, I'm probably gonna get demonetized, but it's not like it matters. And then we grew up with Ellie, Giggle, Hector, Thighs, in incest.
Hey, that's the dream though. Let's be real. Hector and Ephraim are like so cool compared to like other generic lords. Hector's the only lord in all of Fire Emblem that's main weapon is an axe, and same with Ephraim. He's the only guy whose main weapon's a spear. I think that's cool.
Yeah. It's like other dudes can get them as sub weapons, but it's not the same.
It's not the same, yeah.
Like Ephraim was technically our first soldier unit, but then he got a horse.
Oh, okay. Hey, I never thought of it like that. That's interesting.
Yeah,
wait.
Otherwise we didn't get a soldier until like Nephany, and Nephany is garbage.
What about Amelia?
You recruit Ephraim first.
Okay, I gotcha. I understand.
Yeah.
But Amelia's more on the power level of the generic enemy soldiers.
Oh man, what's an Amelia? All I know is a pair of speed wings.
Dude, I've only played Fire Emblem 8 once. And in that run, I trained all 3 of the trainees, and I very rarely used Seth. It was beautiful.
I still find it absolutely hilarious how the trainees have fucking shit growth.
I understand it to a point because they have more levels, but then you consider the fact that an Amelia that you train all the way from recruitment to like a level 20 paladin
10, 20, 20.
is good. yeah, 2020 Paladin is still worse than Seth.
Yeah, because like you get Seth for the entire game, and he's got better growths, and it's just like why?
Yeah, Seth. In my opinion, Seth is the worst Jagan in Fire Emblem because he doesn't do what a Jagan should do. A Jagan should fall off the mid game and late game, but Seth is just carrying you.
Yeah, Seth
like, the
and
entire time. I
Titania.
feel like he does as bad as
Like
he does bad as Jagan.
Seth and Titania deserve the Ginger archetype, the starter paladin that just carries you through the entire game. Also, just real quick, if y'all haven't decided on who to vote for Choose Your Legends, you've got to vote for FE7 Guinevere. That is the only true choice that matters. You got to get that Dead Fox PRF.
I voted for FE7 Guinevere once because I don't know. I feel like too pressured. I don't want to vote for the same character over and over again because then I feel like I'll leave out too many characters. So I've just decided to vote for a bunch of characters that I like once. So yeah, FE7 Guinevere because that'd be hilarious. I voted for Reese because memes, and then I plan on voting for Lloyd because favorite character, Myrrh because Myrrh.
Like you guys know memes are the DNA of the soul, but this guy's DNA is just memes.
I love it.
There's no DNA of the soul to be had. He is just a living meme.
I want to vote for Lucius because they did my man Lucius so dirty.
Lucius is not a unit. Are you kidding me?
They did him so dirty. He's like one of the best glass cannons in GBA Fire Emblem, and they decided to make him a like second tier healer instead.
What are you talking about?
It's so sad. Yeah, he's not in Heroes. That's not Lucius that you guys pull. That's a disgrace.
Yeah, that's Libra on his days off.
So yeah, I'm voting for Lucius in hopes that maybe they release actual Lucius.
Yeah, I still wish staff units could get redeemed. The non-colorless bows, they need to get redeemed, just straight up. Because
honestly, I like
even though healers,
I'm sorry.
Even though healers have their place being gags and like being little fun toys for PvE and stuff, I still think like they just deserve redemption. Like I want
feel
them to
like
actually be there.
I feel like honestly, IS did very good with the healer changes. I feel like they decided on something. Like I say, middling is very rarely a good thing. They decided that they were going to make healers units really good support units. They stuck with it, and I think it worked out in the end. I feel like they're better at healing now. I feel like their tools are pretty good. Gravity's super good. I hope to use it in hard PvE in the future.
Oh man, in before it's just a map that is literally 8x8 trenches.
Yeah, it's. By the way, I released a Gravity Staff Elise video.
More
and
plugs.
In the video, I talk about. Okay, this isn't for plugs. In the video, I talk about how I think that build could be very good in the future for like future hard content because I feel like it can take care of enemies like very easily. And then like a week after I upload that video, trenches come out. So now my Elise is like, okay, bye.
Man.
And
I think I remember. Let me see if I can pull that up. I remember you talking about it. It's like you said it would be good for like PvE and stuff, and like a week later, he's like, oh man, now I gotta change my entire thesis about what healers need.
Yeah, because I say that Elise is objectively the best unit to run that build on because first of all, she's mounted, so she can take advantage of the whole movement difference gimmick of a gravity build. And then second of all, she has the best defensive stats of mounted units. But then now being mounted is actually a detriment.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna have to like train up a Jenny or something for the exact same build for trench maps.
Yeah, Lachesis is my baby, so like it's whatever. I don't even care.
She has a sword and she decides to use her staff instead. That's something.
What? Oh. Nothing. Wait, what? Okay. Well, that I'm reacting over something entirely different, but people will see it in the video. So it's whatever. Just don't worry your little head about it. Okay.
Okay, let me react to it real quick. Wow.
Oh man. Okay. Anywho, you got anything else you want to talk about?
Let's see. Daggers, glimmer, healers.
Oh, you want to talk about armors real quick?
Armors?
Yeah.
Armors are, like, super good right now.
Yeah, I think
made a
armors
home
and
run when
dragons. I think armors and dragons. I want to touch on them. I see them so much, and I don't even
Yeah,
think
dude,
I don't
I've
even
seen
think it's
so
'cause-
much dragons.
I don't even think it's because BST anymore. Because like I score well enough so that I can stay in tier 20, but like I see like armors and more so dragons. But like it's not really a problem for me because Sheena is just amazing. She tanks all the dragons.
Yeah, as somebody that has used dragons since skill inheritance came out, when all these changes first came out, I was super excited. But now that everybody else is using dragons too, I'm kind of more scared to use my dragons in arena.
You gotta start building them optimally. Stop with that TA bullshit. Run steady breath.
Okay. Do you need me to explain why I think that the TA build is good on my
That
dragons?
TA build is outdated. That build was from a time when Falchion was actually good.
I can make an entire video about why I think that TA is good for my dragons. Listen, if you're running a single Naui and your team with like Ira and like Flyzera or something, then by all means go Fury or go Steady Breath because that's better. But if you're running one of each color dragons, I feel like running TAQR is actually like it has its merits.
The only dragon I would ever consider running TA on is Adult Tiki because even though she can one-hit KO Julia and Deirdre, just taking less damage, that feels nice.
Alright, hey, watch out in the future.
In before
I'll be
Falchion
seeing
becomes godly, and TA is actually like mandatory.
Honestly, I think that Falchion refines are around the corner. Like, that's my prediction. And I'm scared because who was it that uploaded those
Phoenix
those
Master
like
1.
predictions? Yeah, Phoenix Master 1 uploaded that video where he made predictions about future weapon refinements. And didn't the Falchion prediction have like Dragon Breaker?
Yeah, it just had
something
Breath
like
Breaker.
that?
It didn't even give a fuck about color.
If that happens, I'm scared.
I still think if Falchion desires to be good, you gotta give it like you gotta give it an extra modifier because there's pretty much no way for them to beat blue dragons in all honesty.
Yeah, I have a Naui that runs close defense, and then I also have a Fae with her that has double spur defense, and I love taking 0 damage from Falchions.
Because you got their attack is reduced by 40%, and then you've got plus 14 defense from Fae. Well,
plus
plus 8, and then close defense equals 14.
8. Yeah. And then I forget how much defense Naui normal has.
It doesn't matter. It's like 30 neutral, so probably doesn't matter.
But yeah, I remember way back when Falchions would leave me below half health, and now I'll take 0 damage from like half of the ones I see. It's great.
How the times have changed.
It's a beautiful time, and hopefully in 2 days Mur's gonna be released, and my team will finally be complete.
Just so you know, I will be making a short little Phoenix Master 1 Sage Master ripoff once those data miners come out. I will go over all those units. I will talk about what I will run on them, and I will talk about how much I hate Mur because the fan base keeps bitching about her not being in the game. She's probably going to be on the banner.
Hold on, were those shots I just felt? I don't know, it's something on my chest, dude.
I don't know, man. I think you might need to get your ears checked.
I don't know, man. My back stings a little bit. Are you sure there's no knives in it right now?
I'm sure, man. You felt nothing. Like, honestly, I don't even care. I just want to see Leon, because he's the only one I'll probably invest in.
If Mur or Molder come out in the Sacred Stones banner, I've been saving orbs. I have like
he's got like 212
a good amount over 2. Right now I have I can see him right now 238 orbs. All of those are going in on Mur. if she comes out. Well, expect the video.
I'm just gonna
expect it.
I'm just gonna literally die of laughter when you don't pull her. And I've got an almighty 43. Look at me go.
Yeah, that winter video, the winter one where I pulled for.
I mean, hey, I would
stuff.
I would love to have pulled that Ira. Instead, I got a Gray and a Soleil and no Tharja.
If it makes you feel any better, I merged my minus attack Ira into my other minus attack Ira.
Man, plus speed minus defense feels good, man. I didn't even want Ira from that legendary brand. I just wanted distant defense fodder. But hey, I got my score machine.
Let's go.
Yeah. But yeah, armors and dragons. Dragons, I think we've talked about dragons enough. Armors, I feel like people haven't explored enough with armors, honestly. Because armors, I just don't see them. And if I do see them, I don't see them built right. Like, I don't think I've seen a single Bold Fighter Jacob. And it makes me sad, because that would just tear through me.
God, I'm so sad I didn't get Elisa. Dude, I have a Jacob sitting there. Like, he was so ready to have Bold Fighter.
Bruh, I want everything on my Jacob. I got him the guard bow. He got the brave bow. I need both builds on him. He's gonna do everything that I need him to.
Yeah, for those of you that are still doubting of Jacob's power, dude, he's so powerful. Like, I think that CJ and I both agree that he's S+.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I don't think defensive counterplay exists unless you're running a Jacob of your own with like guard bow vomit and a little bit of ward, or you're running a triangle adept Raven unit, because Jacob, unlike Lynn and Cordelia, he does not have access to cancel affinity.
Yeah.
But
and like, there's no weapon triangle disadvantage anywhere on him, so he's equally as tanky versus everyone.
So he will proc whatever he wants against you, and he will strike you 4 times, and he's tied for the highest attack of all archers. So good luck.
Yeah, imagine a Bridelia, imagine that damage, and then imagine that she's so tanky that you can't kill her.
Yeah, imagine that she auto quads you, and then she just lives.
It's really strong.
Yeah, I don't have it, but I just know the fact that it exists. I know that it's S+ material. Alongside, even like Omni H, he uploaded a vid. It still makes me laugh. It was about Jacob in defense tile seasons and how the SpongeBob meme. He's just standing there menacingly. How he just doesn't die when he's on a defensive tile. I can just imagine a Brave Bow Jacob still not dying with defensive tile, because his mixed bulk is crazy, man. He's like Carlos Sheena.
Yeah, I think that recently the recent armors that they've been releasing are kind of disgusting. I think they're actually like nullifying any use of tanky infantry units, because, like, for example, if you compare Winter Crom to Dorcas, I believe that
Dorcas only has better speed, I think.
Better speed.
Defense.
Yeah, so why would you ever run Dorcas when you can just run Winter Crom?
Yeah,
and then
Dorcas doesn't get vengeful, so it's not like you're missing out on anything.
Yeah, exactly. Winter Crom has access to a better B skill on top of having better stats.
And he has Weapon Refinery, which Dorcas doesn't really have the liberty of using without sacrificing his A slot, which can be used for a lot of different things.
Exactly. And then, different comparison we already made with Bridelia and Jacob. But there's one really big one, Sophia and
Winter
Tharja.
Tharja is like 1 point slower, but better everything else.
Exactly. I understand, like, the idea of armors being like higher statted but slower, but when you take like infantry units whose the main use of the infantry unit is to be a tanky infantry unit, and then you just make them tankier and make them an armor unit, their main reason is to be a tank, so the fact that they're slow doesn't actually matter as much. So you're almost power creeping them.
But Armor Smasher!
Oh no. I've seen so little armor smashers.
Like, I do understand that armor slaying weapons are prominent in, like, the zenith of Arena, but you've got to take into consideration you can still, like, prep for that. Because I wouldn't doubt a Svalin Shield Sacred Seal because we got Iotes. I can totally see that being run, considering you don't need to go for as many points as possible. It's simply due to defense team score cap.
Plus, like, honestly, effective damage isn't even as disgusting as you'd think it is. Like, when Micaiah came out, didn't she, like, send a screenshot somewhere of, like, one of your units, like, tanking the Micaiah effective damage and then just killing her?
Sheena just, like, she did nothing to Sheena. And, like, I was doing some manual calculator math with Micaiah. She just cannot kill armors without triangle, okay, English is hard. She cannot kill armors that she doesn't have weapon triangle advantage against. She just can't. Like, Gwendolyn, she needs to be simultaneously faster and have Lancebreaker, and Effie, she needs to one hit KO her, or else if Effie has this encounter, she gets one shot. It's dumb. And then Green Arms, good luck killing that.
Yeah, exactly. And just looking at her as an example, plus she deals magic damage, which usually most armors have less res than defense. Using Nakai as an example, like armor smashers and heavy spears, I just don't see that much ability in them to do stuff.
Yeah, like I even did just meta hate Micaiah. I made a Theorycraft little thing of that one time, and she hits like 97 neutral effective attack before triangle, and even then you can, if you're fighting like Ward Emblem, it's but and armors just have so much HP, so it's really hard to make good use of Micaiah against armors, at least, because horses, she has no problem, she just needs to live.
Yeah, I feel like in the future, I feel like the only effective weapon, like armor effective weapon that might actually be effective, is maybe something that cancels out Wary Fighter or Vengeful Fighter.
Yeah. I do think, like, the only skill I would want right now, and it's mostly just because I'm a whore and I want my arena streaks to be easier, I just want a skill that nullifies nullification of counterattacks.
That nullifies nullification of counterattacks?
Yeah, so basically, lull Fire Sweep and lull Sake's Blessing.
Yeah, someone's...
What? Cut out. Are you there? Oh no, what happened? Oh god.
My Discord just died. I'm back.
Okay. Thank God. I'm gonna be so mad. We've been recording for almost an hour. I'm gonna be so mad if the audio didn't pick up.
Sorry, I don't know why my Discord just randomly closed.
But it's gay. It's gay. We're safe for now.
But yeah, someone's been having some trouble with Brave Lynn in their recent arena runs, I see.
I mean, did you see that screenshot of Brave Lynn against Thyra?
Honestly, I am just so glad that dragons do what they do. She eliminates counterattacks from distant counter, except when it's lightning breath.
She eliminates counterattacks of melee weapons that aren't innately ranged. So.
Wait.
Well, not
so
melee,
mean...
physical, because dragons normally deal
okay.
magic.
Yeah, so it's just like everybody has trouble with Brave Lynn for countering her, except for dragons.
This is why I need the Gensia to come out already. Where's that one picture? I gotta keep the audience. They've seen the Erica pic long enough. I gotta give them some more eye candy. Hold up.
Beautiful.
Where's
be careful before I start
there it is,
posting
okay.
my
no,
before I start sending you my Myrrh propaganda.
I will block you if you start spamming Myrrh.
Myrrh is best dragon.
Man, nah, we need the stash, the legendary Steve Harvey. He needs to come out. Let me see if I can find this one bullshit thing I made of him. I said something. Let's see. It can probably be related to this word. Oh man. Someone suggested Blade Pulse as opposed to Shield Pulse. They thought it did power creep Wrath. Ha!
What a lame-o.
Yeah, because frickin' Wrath activates. Okay, yeah, I said